What's going on, everybody? This is TY coming with you with another episode or another video. Just wanted to come to you about this Joshua situation. So I guess Joshua has came out and said that Wilder is not an elite fighter and that he only has the right hand, and that he thinks that he's not a top level guy. And I just wanted to give my take on that. And I just wanted to say that, it's crazy that Joshua comes out now to say these things about Wilder, especially with Wilder having a fight July 24th against Fury. This will be their third fight. And so now Wilder is focused on Fury. But it's funny to see Joshua come out now after all this time when he had plenty of opportunities to fight Wilder several years back. If you can go back a few years ago, you can see when Wilder had called out Joshua and Joshua didn't want no smoke with Wilder. There were so many excuses as to why Joshua couldn't make that fight with Wilder. And then there was even a time when Joshua had his fight with Joseph Parker also a few years ago, and it was for a unified title. And Wilder was actually going to be one of the guys that was going to be there as far as like one of the hosts for Sky Sports, I believe. And he was, given an opportunity to, if he said that if he was able to get into the ring, he would come. But Joshua hired security so that he could not get into the ring, that Wilder couldn't get into the ring. And then also, you got that, and then also the fact that Joshua has turned down, I think it was $50 million. He turned that down to fight Wilder, and they even gave Wilder a flat fee of $12.5 million. Like they just tried to lowball him, and they tried to do every excuse. And then when Wilder was gonna take that offer to just so he can make the fight with Joshua, then that's when they made the excuse and said, oh well, Joshua has a mandatory, and not his mandatory was Alexander Povetkin at the time. And so all these years later, and now Joshua comes out and now he's saying that Wilder's not an elite fighter. He's only got the right hand, and he's not this, he's not that, and that when he gets up into top level, he's gonna, Joshua said he was gonna, beat his ass and stuff like that, and all the other elite fighters. But my thing is that if that was the case, why didn't he not fight Wilder before all this? He had a perfect golden opportunity to fight Wilder all these times. He could have fought Wilder, like I said, several years ago when they both were undefeated and they both was knocking people out, and it could have been for undisputed. And Eddie Hearn and Joshua refused to do that. And so now it's kind of funny that he says that he's not an elite fighter. Well, Wilder's fought Luis Ortiz, and a lot of people may say, oh well, Ortiz was old and he's nobody and this and that. But if that was the case, how come nobody has fought Ortiz besides Wilder? No one else has fought Ortiz. Dillian White's never fought him. Anthony Joshua's never fought him. Neither has Tyson Fury. So if he's this old guy like they say he is, why nobody has not stepped up and fought this guy? Wilder fought this guy twice. So he's fought some elite fighters. So give credit to, for Wilder for what he has done. And, my thing is this and that. And another thing that I don't think if the people don't understand is there was a one point in time where Luis Ortiz was the mandatory for Anthony Joshua, and they did everything they could to get Luis Ortiz to push him aside and not have to deal with him. So my take is, man, Joshua is just talking, man. And I just feel like, it's funny to me that he would say this stuff now when he had all these opportunities to fight Wilder years ago. And I feel like, they made every excuse in the book as to why they could not fight Wilder. So my thing is, like, what were to happen if Wilder beats Fury July 24th? Is Joshua gonna have the same energy that he has now? Will he have that same energy if Wilder wins? Or is he gonna have the same energy he had years before and make excuses and say, hey, no, I don't want to fight, or I gotta fight a mandatory, or it has to be here in England, or it's gotta be this and that. And then another thing that I did not mention is that it's funny that Joshua says this stuff, but he came to America and fought Andy Ruiz, and he got dropped several times, and it looked like he may have quit in that fight. So I find it funny that, somebody would call somebody else not elite, but yet this guy here came here to America and he has never came back since. And nobody even in America even talks about him anymore. So I find it funny that, Joshua says these things about Wilder. It's funny that people got all these negative things to say about Wilder. And especially when Wilder has a fight coming up, Let's just see what happens July 24th. And let's just see if that energy is still kept if Wilder wins. Let's see if Joshua keeps that same energy. This is TY. Y'all have a good one.